The country's labor market remains strong, showing signs of a steady economic recovery. This as employment rate hit 95.8% in November, the highest in 7 years, mainly due to higher economic activity during the month. Here's the details from Naomi Tiburcio.
The number of Filipino workers continued to rise, this time in record high levels since 2005. In the report of the Philippine Statistics Authority, the employment rate reached 95.8% in November 2022, or equivalent to 49.71 million employed Filipinos. Meanwhile, the number of unemployed Filipinos dropped again to 2.18 million. This from 3 million in 2021. According to the PSA, this is due to higher economic activity in recent months.
Pag October, November, December, marami yung ini-employo kasi malakas ang ating economic activities because of the holidays, and a portion of them are not really employed full-time.
Meanwhile, underemployment continued its rise, which recently reached 14.4%, equivalent to 7.16 million individuals.
Dahil marami rin sa mga kumpanya, kung minsan tinatawag nila yung mga empleyado nila, hindi naman full work pa, no? So, minsan nagkakaroon ng rotation, nagkakaroon ng partial work, pero slowly but surely, we're getting there. Ang kailangan nating ma-encourage yung mga maliliit, yung mga micro, especially industries, na kalahati nun nagsara, dapat magbukas na at mag-full blast na sila kung pwede.
According to the National Economic and Development Authority, the improving labor market is a sign of steady recovery of the economy. The government is now focused on creating more quality jobs that will result in a more dynamic labor market. NEDA adds the country is also taking steps to encourage more investments, infrastructure expansion, and efforts in improving the bureaucracy. The president's visit to China is a huge step towards the creation of thousands of jobs for Filipinos. Naomi Tiburcio for The Nation.